All right, everybody. Squid Game, the phenomena that has shocked
This
the
came
world.
out of nowhere.
This was the one that we were going to be interested in watching, and we did a one show, just give us a test run. And we binged it
At
out
the end of that
9
first episode,
episodes.
I was like, next.
Squid Game is that action drama and has some suspense in it. Netflix, September 2021 release. This is a Korean-based show, so I don't want to even tell any much of the cast because I would butcher it, and that I would not be okay with.
We're not good with the names, that's for sure.
But bear with us. It really, honestly, is a realistic portrayal of what desperate people would do.
When you're a billionaire, we always talk about this too, off camera. When you're a billionaire and you've ascended to the top of the power pyramid of where you've ascended, there has to be a point where you ask yourself, like, what else do we do? And when that happens,
drugs and
you
love
can only
and
imagine where, like, the deranged paths that you could go down, and this being one of them.
Boredom is a hell of a thing.
And they all bought into it by saying, look, we didn't force them to be there.
So it's desperate people who get the chance to win money. And they're handpicked by we'll say an Illuminati of,
Basically, yeah.
super wealthy people who picked them based upon their desperation and what they would do for money.
People that would be the least likely to say no to the proposal.
Right. And I even put myself in their shoes. I don't think I would have said no.
You're not down to that point.
No, not the... Well, I don't know. $38 million USD is what the conversion came out from the won.
Neither one of us knew what the conversion rate to a won to a dollar was, because those numbers felt pretty large.
But good thing, the world does it for us, and all we have to do is look it up.
Yeah, I had to Google like how much this was in USD like 3 or 4 times.
Now,
just to get perspective.
I think personally the show opened up kind of slow. The first
2
episodes.
Yeah, the first episode especially, when it was introducing you to the main character, and
which I wasn't a fan of, and he was just annoying to me.
Why his life sucks.
Right. And I think, once we get through those first 2 episodes, it was 9 episodes, so 2 was just nothing of it. It opened up with, obviously, so the show Squid Game, we know people are there to win money and lose a hell of a lot. One of my biggest things about this show was the connections that I had felt with the characters.
100%.
Because we've all been there, maybe not as desperate as them, but we've been there. We wanted the money. We wanted something to make our lives better.
I'm sure everyone was at the point like you're saying.
Yeah.
It's
been there.
You're down, you're making minimum wage, you can't pay your bills really, and you're like, look, I would pick up, like, what's the common saying? I'd pick up trash, I'd do anything. Well,
I'd play childhood games because I could.
With the threat of getting hit in the head with a 50 cal if you don't win.
And I will say, they're fair. People who ran the organization.
Yep.
Who ran the game. And you know what? If you win, you win. Like, there's no rules attached. You win, you lost.
So
you live, you die.
One of the things about a show, if it could subvert my expectations, I like it. When they were taking that vote to stop the game after the whole series of games after that first red light, green light, I was like, okay, it's going to come down to the end, and the guy's going to click continue because it's a Squid Game, and they play games and die.
That's the whole point.
So it subverted my expectations when they voted to go home.
Yep.
And they literally took them all home. And I was like, wow, I didn't expect that.
And that's where it was slowing down for me.
And it was important to make sure that we understood that those people that wanted to be there wanted to be there.
And I think it made it, and when we noticed that, it made the game that much better because those people were going to do their best. They were going to try. They wanted the piggy bank of money.
Episode 6, in particular, was
Ganbu?
Yes. That was, to me, that was one of those episodes where it was like, it just hit you in the feels
that pulled
really hard.
Pulled your heart.
It really did.
You built a relationship with your main characters.
You knew that most people in this show were going to die. But then it made you think, well, maybe there was a team that would win at the end.
And that would have been like Song Woo, the old man,
and there was, episode 6 was the one that made me like really like it was such a good episode.
Ali, yeah, man,
he was such a good character.
You felt for him, and then that episode 6 took a turn for the worse, and then everything we expected was just thrown out the window, and here we are. I was going to tell everybody, watched it subbed, watched it dubbed. He thinks we're going to think something different about this in our layman's review.
I think if you watched it dubbed, I think you watched a worse show.
I know, and I agree. I think the voice actors in the U.S. version of it was a struggle. I think
Exactly.
which I did myself a disservice, and I had to pay a little more attention to the facial expressions of the actors to kind of like more put the words into it. And I think there was a lot of language barrier lost because maybe our cultures or our language doesn't have words for certain things.
I just think subbed is a much better way to watch this show in particular. There are some shows that dub works. There are. This one, I don't believe it is. I tried it for 5 minutes and I was getting ready to throw my television out the window.
So between all that, we, the base story, great. Acting, great.
It was great.
I think,
Really
the way
was.
it felt like it could be a real thing. And like part of me during this whole show, I was like, this has got to exist somewhere in this world.
I was thinking that too.
Watching the wealthy people prey upon the poor. Which, you know what? But they decide, like you said, it was fair. They decided to be there. So I'm ready for our layman's review of it. Help everybody kind of get a feeling.
Let's do it.
A few moments later.
All right, guys, here it is, the layman's review.
3, 2, 1. I like the way you did it. That was definitely better than this. But guys, this is an S tier show.
Yeah.
Listen, anytime that I'll speak for myself, anytime that I can watch a show and I turn it off and I can't stop thinking about it, it leaves. If a show leaves an impression on you that you can't shake off, even if you're in the shower or you're at work or you're driving, and you just think about aspects, and this, with Squid Game in particular, about like the human condition, and most importantly, who you are at the moment where your life's about to end, because that's when you go out in society,
The true you is out there.
We all act.
Yeah.
We want society to see us a certain way.
Right.
When you come home, you take your clothes off, you get your shower, and you relax.
You take your boxers off, you pull the bra down.
You are who you are.
Right.
And I think when we think no one's watching, we can allow ourselves to take our masks off.
Yeah.
Everyone does this to a certain degree. This show makes people reveal themselves in this game. And I really enjoyed watching
people become their true selves.
Some people actually in that moment were brilliant.
And I can't disagree with anything Ryan said. Since I watch the show, it has literally come up every day in my life with either in conversation with somebody, I'm thinking about it, but I think a show that pulls at your emotions, gets you attached to your characters. You want to see more at the end of every episode. And can I say, they expertly ended each episode on a cliffhanger that you wanted to go back and see the end of it.
Felt the same way.
Tug of War, bam, you wanted to get back into that next episode. So if a show can do that, and every day I have to stop, I want to savor the show. I don't want to binge it in one day. But here we are. It's like I have to. And there's a reason the whole world's really getting on board with this. And there's a reason that it's the #1 show. And
everything you said about emotions
Yeah.
is true.
Yep.
About character building, making me like even the characters I hated them because they were acted so well.
Yeah.
Okay, Snake Face guy.
You were scared and intimidated by him. You hated the woman that was his like partner for episode or two.
Yep.
You like and disliked Gihan and Song Woo. I expected better, but he became
better.
He became that player, that
Yep.
true self in the game.
Exactly.
And, it was a great roller
Where do
coaster
we put
ride
it
of
in?
the show.
So guys, that was Squid Game. If you haven't checked it out already, go watch it on Netflix. We tried not to get into too many spoilers here, because we believe that you should truly enjoy this with as little spoilers as
Yeah,
possible.
absolutely.
Let us know what you thought about the show in the comments below. Who was your favorite character? What was your favorite game? And let us know what you think we should review next.